broke my nose. Look at this. Should I go to the hospital? Just kidding, guys. It's makeup. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to do this to your nose. Bad nose job, huh? Maybe I ran into a wall, which is most likely what happened if it were me. So I'm going to be showing you guys a quick and easy way to do this, even if you are a beginner. It's pretty simple. It doesn't take a lot of work or a lot of time. I did this whole thing in maybe like half an hour. The video might be a little bit longer just because of editing reasons. But it doesn't take that long. And I achieved this look using gelatin. It's unflavored gelatin that you can buy at Walmart or any kind of food store where they sell baking stuff. Unflavored gelatin. You mix that with some water and some glycerin, and you get gelatin. And it's a really cheap and easy way to be able to achieve looks like this, or many others. You can even make prosthetics with it without having to buy expensive products to be able to achieve that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started and show you guys how I did this. So you should have a clean face, or at least the area that you're going to be applying this at to be clean. Your gelatin should look something like this if it came out correctly. So the first thing you're going to need is a spatula of some kind. You're going to dip the spatula into the gelatin while it's still warm. It's going to be drippy, but just try your best to apply it. So you're going to start building a base and creating the shape for the wound or cut or whatever you're making. To do this, just apply the outline and keep building it up with the gelatin. Once the gelatin starts to cool, it will form its permanent shape. This is what mine looked like at that point. If the edges won't stay down, you may adhere it to your skin using Prozade or Spirit gum. Once you're at bliss with the way it looks, the fun part is waiting for it to dry before we can move to the next step. For this next step, you're going to need brushes, preferably older ones that you don't care about getting ruined or dirty. The next thing you're going to need is eyeshadow and some kind of paint. I am using Morphe's 35B palette and a stack of cream paints. Be sure not to use alcohol-based paints because it will cause the gelatin to melt. So for this part, you'll be using a fluffy brush and applying translucent powder to remove any shine that the gelatin has created. For the next step, you will be applying purple and yellow eyeshadow or powder on the surrounding area of the gelatin to create a bruised and battered look. applying purple and yellow colored paint in the same area that you applied the shadow, but using much less product and only using it in certain corners and edges and creases to create an emphasized bruised appearance. When your brushes just don't want to work, using your fingers or a rag to blend in the edges is a great substitute technique. For the next part, you'll need a smaller brush and some red shadow or powder. You will be applying this on the inside of your gelatin wound to show irritation from the inside out. The next product you'll be needing is some scab blood, which happens to be my favorite. I am using Scab Blood by Ben Nye, but any form of blood or scab blood will work just fine. You'll be applying this on the inside of your gelatin wound using a spatula, not a brush. Applying it just over the edges and center to create a fresh appearance. Once you finish that part, grab a stipple sponge and slightly dip it into the scab blood, like so. Then you're going to dab it around the edges to create a splattered blood effect without it being too much or too heavy. Now it's time for some good old-fashioned vampire blood. This type of blood is runny and watery, which is what you're going to need to achieve the rest of this. Start by applying some of this on your hand, a napkin, or any kind of surface. Then you're going to take a spatula, grab some of it, and then let it drip down from the gelatin wound you've created. Now it's time for some finishing touches. Take your sponge and lightly pick up some of the vampire blood and stipple it around the far edges. Once you feel like it looks as if you ran into a wall, then that means your job is complete.